Excuse me? Johnny Cash, what are you doing, bud? What are you doing, bud? We're on a rampage. Yeah, you need to chill, dude. Hello, vintage neighbors. Welcome to the Vintage Girl Next Door. My name is Lacey. Today we're in the kitchen because we're gonna do some holiday baking. So I do have some Christmas cookie videos from last year. I will link that for you. In that video, I talked about how I like to make little plates of goodies to leave on the neighbors' porches. So that's what we're gonna do today. I'm going to try a new recipe and also one that I make every year. We're gonna do that as well. Gonna put together a few little treats and deliver them to the neighbors. Like I mentioned, I thought it would be fun to try a new recipe today. So we have our Better Homes and Gardens Holiday Cookbook. This one is copyright 1959. This is a really fun cookbook. If you guys can get your hands on one of these, maybe at the thrift store or maybe online you can find it. It has fun recipes for each holiday of the year and then also just some general entertaining recipes. So I have chosen to try my hand at fudge today. I've never made fudge before. We'll see how it goes, but I thought it looked so cute. It's a very traditional vintage treat in my opinion. So we're gonna make this one. It's called Remarkable Fudge. Velvety and wonderful. It says it's foolproof. So we will put that to the test. So first off, we're gonna try our hand at the fudge. I am also going to make the cookies I make every year. They are soft gingerbread cookies. And then we're gonna make some Spritz cookies with the cookie press. So we got a good roundup of Christmas treats, I think. You're gonna wanna stick around and see how this all comes together. First off, for the fudge, it said to butter the sides of your saucepan. So that's what I am doing here. And then adding in 4 cups of sugar. It's a lot of sugar. And then 1 can of evaporated milk. However, it said 14.5 ounces, and that's not, the can that I had 12. So I had to get 2 cans and add a tiny bit of the other can in as well. And so now I'm just giving that a good stir. We're adding in 1 cup of butter or margarine. And then we're gonna stir frequently and heat it over medium to 236 degrees where it is the soft ball stage. So I actually do have a candy like cooking thermometer. So I just put that in and it did take a while. You can see it's boiling pretty good here. And I ended up having to turn up the heat a little bit to more like a medium high to get it to the right temperature. And then you remove it from the heat as soon as it is at that point and add in your chocolate, marshmallow cream, vanilla, and nuts. So we're adding 1 package, 12-ounce package of semi-sweet chocolate pieces. Get it all in there and give it a good stir. And then adding in the marshmallow cream. It says 1 pint of marshmallow cream, so I had to get the big jar and 1 little jar and use a little bit of the little jar as well. Trying to get it all in there quickly as I can so that it doesn't cool down too much. And this was kind of tough to stir, you guys. My arm was getting a workout. Eventually I did get it all mixed in though, and then added the rest of the marshmallow cream. Had to do a little bit at a time because, like I said, it was quite hard to stir. It was very sticky and thick. And then here is the rest of that marshmallow cream. About half of the little jar is what I ended up adding in. And now adding in the vanilla. It's 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Give that a good mix, and 1 cup of walnuts. And the bag that I got was like halves and pieces, but they were kind of big. And so I just went ahead and chopped them up a little bit smaller and added those in as well. And then you are going to butter your pan. 9 by 9 by 2 is what it called for, but it said that you could also use 13 by 9.5 by 2, which is what I had. So, and I'm glad that I did, because I feel like the other one, it would have been a little too like thick of pieces. So just kind of trying to mash that in and get it nice and level. Always need a little taste just in case. And then I put some butter on a knife so that I could try to spread out the top of it to make it look a little bit better, and it kind of worked, but either way it was not like super smooth on top. And then it said to score it while it was still soft, and then you could cut it all the way when it was all the way cool and firm. Okay, one treat is down. We made the fudge. All in all, not bad. It took a while to get the first step to the right temperature, to the soft ball stage. But after that, it went really quick. I got an arm workout. It was very hard to stir. Tasted a tiny bit, just like off the spoon. Seemed good. It looks good. It looks like fudge. I'll show you. So it's still really soft. I'm waiting for it to solidify a bit more before I cut it and actually taste it. But I'm excited. It smells good. It looks good. I think that one is going to be a success. So let us move on to treat number 2. And welcome to day 2 of vintage Christmas baking for the neighbors. So yesterday I made fudge for the first time. I think it turned out really good, I hope. So today we are making some Spritz cookies, and the cookies I make every single year for the neighbors, my soft gingerbread cookies. So we're gonna start with the Spritz cookies. I'm using a recipe out of the holiday cookbook. It's also very similar, if not exactly the same, as the recipe that came with the cookie press for Spritz cookies. I'm pretty sure it's the exact same. So I will put the recipes for all 3 of these things that I'm making in the description. If you want to check them out, you are welcome. And I also have a more in-depth vintage gadget video on the cookie press. If you want to check that out, I'll link it for you. So let's get started. 2 types of cookies. We're going for it. We can do this. All right, time to make some Spritz cookies. And these are not called butter cookies for no reason, folks. You use a lot of butter. 1.5 cups of butter or margarine and 1 cup sugar. We're going to cream that together. And I am using my 1960 Sunbeam mixer, as you can see. And I got that all nice and mixed, and then did some scraping of the sides with my rubber spatula. Now we are adding in 1 egg. 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And 1/2 teaspoon of almond extract. I'm going to give that a nice mix in the mixer. And then we're going to mix together our dry ingredients. We're going to do 4 cups of flour and 1 teaspoon of baking powder. So I did 2 cups of flour, then I added in the baking powder, and then added the other 2 cups just to try to make sure it's all stirred. Really, I need to sift this stuff, but I did not. I just mixed it together with the wooden spoon. So now we're going to add that gradually in to our other mixture. And I just did a little at a time and then let it mix and then added a little bit more. The Sunbeam was earning its keep with this, you guys. It was a little bit of a struggle. And it got a little warm. I was slightly concerned that it was a little too thick of dough to be mixing with it, but it ended up doing okay in the end, so I think we're good. And just mix that until it is smooth. And I am separating out into thirds because I wanted to do 3 colors for the dough. So the first bit I am making green because we're going to make some Christmas trees. So I added some green food coloring and I am just mixing that in and then getting out the cookie press. And you just put the stencil that you want in the end and then load your dough and turn the handle down on the top and you have cute little Christmas trees. Super cute, super easy. Just cuts them right out. Love it. And we're gonna bake those at 400 degrees, 8 to 10 minutes. My oven, however, gets quite hot. I have not quite honed it in yet. And so this first batch got a little bit brown on the bottom. Really, they're not supposed to brown at all. So the rest of them, I ended up doing a bit better than that first batch. And I made some red kind of like wreaths and then the yellow star cookies. Okay, 2 treats down. We're on to number 3, which is going to be the soft gingerbread cookies that I have been making for the last like 3 or 4 years now. They are a hit. They make your house smell wonderful. Yeah, let's get cooking. Treat number 3. The last up is the soft gingerbread cookies. First off, we're going with 2 1/4 cups of flour and 2 teaspoons of ginger, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and 3/4 of a teaspoon of cinnamon, 1/2 a teaspoon of cloves, and 1/4 teaspoon salt. So we're going to go ahead and mix together all of those dry ingredients first. And now we're going for the mixer. We're putting in our butter, 3/4 cup of softened butter, 1 cup of white sugar. We're going to cream those together. And then I'm going to add in 1 egg, 1 tablespoon of water, and 1/4 cup of molasses. And get those all nice and mixed together. And then going to add in our dry ingredients gradually, a little bit at a time. So I added some of it, then I let it mix a bit, and then I added the rest. And I'm just going to clean off the dough off of these mixers and I'm going to go ahead and load it onto the cookie sheets. So you roll the dough into a walnut sized ball and then roll it in white sugar, and you don't need to flatten it out at all because that happens when they cook, and just want to make sure and keep them 2 inches apart because they do flatten out while they cook. And I'm going to cook those 350 degrees 10 to 12 minutes. Same as before, I ended up on the shorter side of that cooking time because you don't want these to get too brown either. If you do cook them too long, then they do get crunchy, and I like them to be soft. That's how they're meant to be. So here is our cookie spread. Soft gingerbread cookies, the Spritz cookies, and now I'm going to glaze the Spritz cookies. So I just made a simple glaze. I just used coconut milk and confectioner's sugar, powdered sugar, and I'm gonna dip them in the glaze and then put a little bit of sprinkles on top. You don't have to do this, like you can just have them plain and they look cute and they're fine, but I think it adds a little bit of sparkle to glaze them and put a little bit of sprinkles on. So that's what I did for all of mine. I think they turned out really cute, and now I'm going to plate up our little neighbor gifts. Just put a couple of each kind of treat on there, and I think that they turned out really cute. I'm excited to go and leave them on the neighbors' porches. I think that they are going to quite enjoy these. And I have some cute little to from tags, vintage ones that I found at an estate sale, so I put those on as well. Christmas treats are all done. I've got the assembly line here. I've made a few plates, and I'm really happy with how they turned out. They look super cute. Got these gingerbread plates just over at Walmart, and just put a few little treats on, and I'm gonna go leave them on my neighbors' porches for a little Christmas treat. Also, we need to taste this fudge because I haven't done that yet. I cut just a little piece because I feel like most of it's gonna need to be on these plates, but I did need to taste it, so let's do it. It's yummy. Tastes like fudge. It's very sweet, obviously. Has a good texture. I mean, I feel like it's any fudge that I've had before. So that's a good sign, right? I do like the walnuts in it. I think I would maybe even put more nuts just to like break up the sweetness a little bit more. But it's really good. The aftertaste is like the marshmallow creamy. So I really like that. I'm a big fan of marshmallow. Fudge is a success. Also, not that hard to make. I was very surprised. If I can do it, you guys can do it. I'm telling you. We got this. Yeah, that was a good recipe. I will make sure and I'll leave all of the recipes that I used in the description. So if you guys want to make some Christmas treats of your own, the recipes are there. They are tried and tested, and I approve. The soft gingerbread cookie recipe is the only one that's not from a vintage cookbook that I know of. I actually found that one on Pinterest, so I will be sure and link it below so that you guys can check that one out as well. It's a really yummy recipe. They smell so good while they're baking. You must try it. All the treats. Let's do this. Also, if you're in the market for a cookie press, those are very often at the thrift store. I've seen full like cookie press kits at the thrift store. So if you're on the hunt for one of those, check out your thrift store. Probably for sure eBay you could find one. I think they just add so much like cuteness and color to your holiday treats. Thank you so much for watching. I sure hope that you enjoyed this fun little Christmas baking video, and if you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. It really does help me out. And if you have not subscribed already, please do so. We have a lot more vintage fun coming, and we'd love to have you become a part of our vintage neighborhood here on the internet. Our neighborhood is growing so fast, and we're so close to 100K. It means the world to me to have you here. So thank you. Thank you, and I hope that wherever you are in the world that you are feeling safe and feeling loved, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye!